taken by the transformer is no load. This is I naught. This is the mutual flux pi at no load. See here the voltage induced in the primary winding, that is self-induced voltage E1. There is a voltage induced in the secondary winding, that is E2. The secondary has a number of turns N2, whereas the primary has a number of turns of N1. So whenever you are closing the switch here, the primary will be taking extra current, that is I2 dash. Now the primary current becomes a I1. Now the secondary is carrying a current of I2. The primary also will be carrying a current of I1. So now come to the secondary. So whenever the current is flowing through the secondary, the flux is created from the secondary winding, that is not flowing total, whatever the flux is created from secondary winding, that is not flowing, total flux is flowing through the core. Some amount of flux will be taking a path in air and linking with a own turns. This is nothing but a secondary leakage flux. This is existing, come to the picture when the current is flowing through the secondary winding only. The same manner, there is some amount of flux is linking with a primary winding. This is nothing but a primary leakage flux. This is in phase with a primary leakage flux is in phase with I1, whereas the secondary leakage flux is in phase with a I2. So the nature of these two fluxes are sinusoidal nature. The voltage will be induced in a primary winding as well as a secondary winding. Due to the leakage flux, that voltage will causing a some amount of drop in a voltage V1 here the voltage E2 here. That is opposite the E2. Now same thing, and one more parameter is there. The primary has a resistance of R1. The secondary has a resistance of R2. Because we are going to take all the parameters. Now this is the, now we are going to develop the phasor diagram of a transformer. With a lagging load. See here, whatever the load we connected here, that we have taken as a RL load. Nothing but a lagging power factor. That is the assumption we have taken here. Now, to represent the magnetic flux, to represent the phasor diagram, again, you take the vertical axis and x-axis here. On the x-axis, first you take the mutual flux, nothing but that is constant from no load to the full load. So this is the E1, this is the E2. In this case, we have taken the N2 is greater than the N1. Next, we have to draw the, so after completing the E1 and E2, because the angle between these two is 90 degrees, because the E1 and E2 is induced because of the mutual flux. All these phases are rotating in a anti-clockwise direction with a angular velocity of omega. This omega value becomes a, this is equal to 2 pi f, where f is nothing but a frequency of the supply. Now we are representing the E1 dash. E1 dash is nothing but a, the voltage drop in a supply winding, the voltage drop in a source voltage due to the self-induced voltage in a primary winding. Exactly that magnitude is equal to E1, but opposite. Here you take that, this is the E1 dash. Okay. Now we are representing the I0, no load current. See here, no load current lags. This is the no load current. This angle is the pi naught, no load angle. lags E1 dash by some angle, that is pi naught. That is pi naught. So all these phases are rotating in a anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise direction. Now, whenever we connect a load across a secondary winding, I2 current is given by the secondary winding. See here, we applied the lagging load. So inductive load, nothing but a I2 lags. See here, you take the, this is the I2. I2 lags E2 by some angle. That angle you take it as a pi 2. That angle you take it as a pi 2. See here. Sorry. Okay. Now this E2, I2 lags E2 by some angle pi 2. Some angle pi 2. Now, whenever we connect a load here, the primary is taking extra current, that is I2 dash, that exactly opposite to the I2. See here, opposite to the I2, I have to draw a I2 dash. Already you know what is the magnitude of I2. I2 dash equal to I2 into N2 by N1. This is the relation. So how much magnitude we are getting here from this relation? The same length you have to maintain here. But that should be opposite to the I2. That should be opposite to the I2. Because both are magnetizing the core in opposite direction. Both are magnetizing the core in a opposite direction. Now you find the phasor sum of these two. This is I1. This is I1. Nothing but I1 is the total primary current. Total primary current. Now we can write it as a I1 equal to I0 plus I2 dash. I2 dash. See, the primary winding has a resistance. There some amount of voltage will be dropping across a primary winding. We are assuming that the primary winding has a resistance of R1. Now I1 R1 is the voltage drop across the primary winding. Parallel to the I1, you draw a one phasor, that is I1 R1 from the tip of the E1 dash. From the tip of the E1 dash. Because here, what are the physical quantities are there in primary winding, we are adding so that to get the V1. To get the V1. So here, this is the voltage drop. That is I1 R1. And one more voltage drop is there. The primary, due to the leakage flux, the some amount of voltage will be induced in primary winding. That we are representing as a winding has a some amount of leakage reactance. Some amount of leakage reactance. So how we are going to represent that quantity means, so from this point, perpendicularly you draw the J I2 I1 X1. I1 X1. This is resistance drop. This is the leakage reactance drop. Because this leakage reactance is representing the leakage flux at a primary winding. Now if you find the phasor sum of these two, this is I1 Z1. Now if you find the phasor sum of these two, this is equal to V1. V1. So from this phasor diagram, you can write the equation for the primary winding. V1 equal to E1 dash plus I1 R1 plus J I1 X1. J I1 X1. If we take the I1 common here, E1 dash plus I1 into R1 plus J X1. This is equal to V1. This is the voltage equation at a primary winding of a transformer. Primary winding of a transformer. Now the primary winding is over. Now come to the secondary winding. See here, This is E2. See what are the things that happen in secondary means the voltage will be induced in secondary winding E2. How this voltage is utilizing means the some amount of voltage will be dropping as a resistance drop because this winding has a resistance, and some voltage the secondary has a, see the voltage induced in secondary, how it is going to utilize means the some amount of voltage will be dropping across the secondary winding resistance, nothing but a I2 R2, and some amount of voltage will be dropping across the secondary leakage reactance because the secondary has a leakage flux is there that we are representing by the element as a leakage reactance. So I2 X2, and remaining voltage is going to apply to the load, that is V2. Nothing but if we add the three quantities, this is equal to E2. This is equal to E2. So here, see here E2. Nothing but we had to add the three physical quantities. Nothing but three are the physical quantities which are sinusoidal quantities. Now E2 is there here. Now we have to take the, here we apply the inductive load. So here you take the V2. Here you take the V2. Sorry. This is V2. This is I2. This is V2. This is I2. So because this is actually this is pi 2, because all the phases are rotating in a anti-clockwise direction. All the phases are rotating in a anti-clockwise direction. Here we are assuming that the inductive load is applied. Now here, so for the V2 we are adding a I2 R2. I2 is a sinusoidal quantity. I2 R2 also the sinusoidal quantity. The relation between the I2 and I2 R2 is in phase, nothing but parallel. So parallel to the I2, from the tip of the V2, you draw a length of the phasor parallel to this one. This is I2 R2. This is I2 R2. Now from this tip, you draw a perpendicular to the I2 up to the E2. E2 varaku draw cheyandi. Up to E2 you have to draw it. This is equal to J I2 X2. Nothing but a voltage drop in a secondary winding due to the leakage flux. So why you have drawn up to E2 means because sum of the VTC already has seen E2 equal to I2 R2 plus I2 X2 plus V2. Nothing but a this becomes a E2. That's why J I2 X2 term that we have to draw up to the E2. But the angle between these two is 90 degrees. The angle between these two is 90. That we have to maintain. See here, this is nothing but a I2 Z2. I2 Z2. Now from this phasor diagram, if you write the voltage equation for the secondary side, now here E2 equal to V2 plus, see what is there here, just I am writing here, E2 equal to V2 plus I2 R2 plus I2 R2 plus I2 J I2 X2. J I2 X2. Now you take the common here I2. Now E2 equal to V2 plus, if you take the I2 common, I2 into R2 plus JX2. This is the voltage equation which is representing the secondary side. See, after the phasor diagram, so finally we can get the voltage equations. So voltage equation is nothing but it is a modeling of some physical thing which are happening in a transformer. Some physical thing which are happening in a transformer. See, in that manner, we are modeling the physical things by means of a equation that we are getting from the phasor diagram of a transformer. Phasor diagram of a transformer. So this is the phasor diagram of transformer. This is the phasor diagram of transformer. This is the phasor diagram of transformer with a RL load is connected across a transformer. RL load is connected across a transformer. Now we are going to see what is the phasor diagram of transformer with resistive load is connected across a transformer. Resistive load is connected across a transformer. See here, what are the type of load we connected here is the resistive load. This is resistive load. Resistive load. We are following the same sequence. There is no change in the sequence. Sequence is same. See here we connected the resistive load. Again you take the y-axis and x-axis. On the x-axis you take the flux. After the flux you draw a E1 and E2. After the E1 and E2, draw a E1 dash. Nothing but a voltage drop in a primary winding due to the E1. Now draw a no load current. This is the no load current I0. No load current I0. See here we applied the resistive load. Now here you take the V2 here. This is V2. Resistive load means current is in phase with a V2. Current is I2 is in phase with a V2. I2 is in phase with a V2. So that's why here I have taken the I2 up to here. Now you draw the I2 dash. This angle is nothing but a, see, the angle between the V2 and I2 is 0. If you observe, the angle between the V2 and I2 is 0 because we are assuming that here the resistive load is connected. Resistive load is connected. This is the phasor diagram of the transformer with a resistive load, R load. The previous one is the phasor diagram of transformer with a lagging load. Now I2 dash. Now opposite to the I2, you draw the I2 dash. This is I2 dash. Now you phasor sum of these two. This is I1. Now after drawing the I1, for the E1 dash, you add the I1 R1. This is I1 R1. I1 R1. I1 R1 is nothing but a voltage drop in the primary winding due to the primary winding resistance. In the same manner, the primary winding has a leakage reactance also. So perpendicular to this one, I have to draw a I1 X1. Because how you can draw this means already we know the magnitude of I1. That's why you can draw the I1 X1 also. Perpendicular to the I1 R1, you have to draw the I1 X1. Now we have to find the phasor sum of these two. This is I1 Z1. If you find the phasor sum of E1 dash and I1 Z1, that is V1. This is V1. Now we can write the voltage equation here. V1 equal to E1 dash plus I1 into R1 plus JX1. JX1. This is the voltage equation for the primary winding of a transformer. Now come to the secondary. Again for the V2, you add the I2 R2. Here this is the I2. I2 R2 is in phase with I2. From the tip of the V2, you have to draw the I2 R2. This is I2 R2. Now perpendicular to the I2 R2, you draw a J I2 X2. So what is J I2 X2 means? The voltage induced in a, sorry, this is not voltage induced. Voltage drop in a E2 due to the leakage flux. That is drop. Drop in a E2 due to the leakage flux, that we are representing as a J I2 X2. J I2 X2. If you find the phasor sum of these two, this is I2 Z2. If we write the voltage equation here for the secondary, E2 equal to this E2 equal to, from this phasor, E2 equal to V2 plus I2 into R2 plus JX2. R2 plus JX2. This is the voltage equation for the secondary winding. Same equation we are getting. Only the placement of the phasors will be changes little bit with a lagging load and unity power factor load and leading load. The previous case you have seen the lagging load. This is the resistive load. This is for the resistive load. This is the voltage equation. Now we are going to see the phasor diagram of transformer. Phasor diagram of transformer with a capacitive load. Nothing but here we are assuming that we are connected the RC load. RC load. Nothing but here leading power factor load. Leading power factor load. RC load. Nothing but a current leads the voltage V2 by some angle. Now again here take the y-axis and x-axis, draw the pi. Because of the pi only E1, E2 will be generated in a primary winding as well as secondary winding. The angle between the E1 and E2 is, this is E2, this is E1, is 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees. See here, same length, how much length is there? The same length you take here, that is E1 dash. Voltage drop in a primary winding due to the E1. Now, represent the no load current. This is no load current I0. See here, this you take it as a V2. This you take it as a, sorry, this here you take it as a V2, here you take it as a V2, but here you take it as a I2. So why you have taken the I2 here means the current leads the voltage by some angle. Current leads the voltage by some angle. This angle you have taken as a pi 2. This angle you have taken as a pi 2. Now, so once you know the I2 dash opposite to this one, you draw a I2 dash. Phasor sum of these two, which is representing the I1, this is I1. Once you know the I1, then you draw the I1 R1 from the tip of the I1 R1 from the tip of the E1 dash, from the tip of the E1 dash. Next, from the tip of the E1 dash you have to draw the I1 R1. Next you have to draw the I1. Next you have to draw the I1 x1. This is nothing but J I1 x1, that is perpendicular to the I1 R1. Phasor sum of these two is the I1 Z1. Phasor sum of the I1 Z1 and this one E1 is the V1. Now here you can write the voltage equation. V1 equal to same relation we are getting, E1 dash plus I1 into R1 plus Jx1. Now come to the, all these phases are rotating in a anti-clockwise direction. Now see here we know the I2. Now you have to draw the parallel to the I2. You have to draw the I2. This is I2 R2. Parallel to the I2, you have to draw the I2 R2 from the tip of the V2. Next, perpendicular to the I2 R2, end of the E1, end of the E2, you have to draw a phasor. This is representing the J2 X2. Phasor sum of these two is nothing but a I2 Z2. Now from this relation, from this phasor diagram, you can write the voltage equation at secondary side. V2 equal to, E2 equal to V2 plus, see here, E2 equal to V2 plus I2 into R2 plus Jx2. This is the phasor diagram transformer with a leading power factor. Up to here we have seen the phasor diagram transformer with a resistive load, lagging power factor as well as the leading power factor. So finally from the phasor diagram we developed the equations. These equations we are going to use the equivalent circuit representation of a transformer. Now this is the phasor diagram of transformer with load with unity power factor. This is the phasor diagram already seen with unity power factor. This is the pi. This is the pi. This is the E1 and E2. This is the I2. This is the V2 in phase because both unity power factor, nothing but resistive load. And next we are developed the, next we have drawn the I0. This is I2 dash. This is I2 dash. We are getting, if we find the phasor sum of these two, we are getting the I1. See here in this phasor they directly drawn the I1 directly. This is the I1. So how we got this I1 means, we have to draw the I2 dash and find the phasor sum of I2 dash. This is I2 dash and I1. We are getting the I1. Once you know the I1, then you can draw the I1 R1. Perpendicular to, you have to draw the J1 X1. Now this is the I1 Z1. Phasor sum of these two, nothing but a V1. See here we can write the voltage equation as a V1 equal to, we know that E1 dash plus I1 into R1 plus Jx1. This is the voltage equation for the primary winding. The same manner at the secondary, I2 V2. From the V2 you have to add the I2 R2. Perpendicular from the tip of the E2 you have to draw. This is I2 J2 X2. This is J2 X2. This is the I2 Z2. Now from the secondary side, E2 equal to V2 plus I2 into R2 plus JX2. This is the voltage equation for the primary winding. Primary winding of transformer. This is the voltage equation for the secondary winding. Secondary winding of a transformer with unity power factor. Unity power factor is nothing but current is in phase with a voltage. That is very, very important. This V2 and I2 is in phase. The angle between the I2 and V2 is 0. The example for the unity power factor is resistive load, incandescent lamp. All the lamps are the unity power factor loads, right? Now next we are going to see the lagging load. The example for the lagging load is the fans, induction motors. All those are coming under the lagging loads only. It has some amount of inductance, so the current lags the voltage by some angle. See here, we have drawn the same flux we have drawn. After the flux E1, E2, depending on the magnitude of N1 and N2, here we have taken the N2 is greater than the N1. This is V2, this is I2. After the I2, you have to draw the I2 dash. This is I1, this is the I1. Once you know the I1, then you have to draw the I1 R1. This is J I1 X1. This is the I1 Z1. This is the V1. Again, if we write the equation, we are getting the same. V1 equal to E1 dash plus J into, I1 into R1 plus JX1 for the primary side. Secondary side, see, parallel to the I2, you have to draw the I2R2. Perpendicular, you have to draw one more phasor, that is JI2X2. Now the phasor sum of these two, nothing but I2Z2. Now the phasor sum of V2 and I2Z2 is nothing equal to E2. If you write the voltage equation at the secondary side, E2 equal to V2 plus I2 into R2 plus JX2. This is for the primary winding. Primary winding. This is for the secondary winding of a transformer. So finally we got only these two equations from the phasor diagram with a lagging power factor. Same manner, we are going to see the leading power factor. Same procedure you followed here. See here, this is first we have drawn the pi, next E1 and E2. Next we have drawn the I0. Next we have drawn the I2 we have taken here. See here, V2 we have taken here, V2. The angle between these two is pi 2. All phasors are rotating in anti-clockwise direction with a omega. So I2 leads the V2 by some angle R2. So nothing but a leading power factor, nothing but a leading power factor type of load we connected across a transformer. We are getting this type of phasor diagram. So I2, this is V2. Now for this one you have to add the I2 R2 dash, so that we are getting the I1 here. We are getting the I1. Once we found the I1 value, then I1 R1. This is I1 R1. Perpendicular to this one, you draw a J I1 X1. Phasor sum of these two, this is representing the I1 Z1. Phasor sum of I1 Z1 and E1 dash. This is not minus, E1 dash. Some of the others are following the minus, but here we follow the E1 dash. So the phasor sum of E1 dash and I1 Z1, we are getting the V1. If you write the voltage equation for the primary winding, V1 equal to E1 plus I1 into R1 plus JX1. Now you come to the secondary side. This is for the V2. parallel to the I2 we have to draw the I2 R2. This is I2 R2, and perpendicular to this one we have to draw up to the tip of the E2. Tip of the E2. This is J I2 X2. Phasor sum of these two nothing but a I2 Z2 I2 Z2. If you write the voltage equation at secondary side voltage equation at secondary, now E2 equal to V2 plus I2 into R2 plus J X2. This is the equation 1, this is the equation 2 with a, in all these cases only thing is there is no change in equation for the V1 and E2. Primary equation there is no change, and there is no change in equation for the also. But the placement of the phasors in the phasor diagram will be different. See here, this is E1 dash, that omitted. The placement of the phasors in the phasor diagram will be different with the type of load, what type of load we connected across a transformer. This is very important phasor diagram. The phasor, from the phasor diagram only we are developing the equations. We developed the equations. These are the three phasor diagrams. One is unity power factor load. This is unity power factor load. This is lagging power factor load. This is the leading power factor load. These are three phasor diagrams of transformer with a loaded condition, the unity power factor, lagging power factor, as well as a leading power factor which is connected across a transformer. Summary. So in this so up to here we have discussed about the what are the phasor diagram of the transformer at a unity power factor, as well as a lagging power factor and a leading power factor. From the phasor diagram, so finally we developed the equations for the modeled for the primary winding as well as the secondary winding. For the equation, modeling equation for the primary winding is V1 equal to so V1 equal to E1 dash plus I1 into R1 plus JX1. This is the equation which is representing the primary winding. In the same manner, at secondary we got the E2 equal to V2 plus I2 into R2 plus JX2. This is representing the equation in a secondary side. Based upon these equations only, we developing the equivalent circuit of a transformer. That we are going to see in the next classes. Thank you.